Don't worry, God is never late. Listen, life will test you. It's going to put you in situations where you feel the clock is running out. The crowd is against you and you're down by double digits. You'll look at your life and think, why isn't this happening yet? Why hasn't my breakthrough come? But here's the truth. God is never late. When you're in the middle of the game, you don't always see the strategy from the coach's view. You only see the pressure, the defenders, the missed shots, but God sees the whole court. He knows the perfect moment to deliver the pass, the exact second to open the lane, the precise time to take the winning shot. The problem is, you want the victory in the first quarter, but God sometimes saves it for the final seconds because He's not just trying to give you the win. He's building the player inside you who can keep winning. So stop staring at the clock like you're running out of time. You're not late. You're right on schedule. The delay you feel is the training you need. Every setback you faced is adding strength to your spirit, skill to your mind, and discipline to your habits. When I played, I didn't panic when we were down. I locked in. I trusted the process, trusted my training, and most of all, trusted that the game isn't over until the buzzer sounds. Life is the same. You're not losing, you're preparing. You might think God's silence means He's absent. It doesn't. It means He's setting up a move that's so perfect, so undeniable, that when it happens, you won't be able to say it was anyone but Him. Some of you are frustrated because the door hasn't opened. But maybe He's not opening that door because He's building a bigger one. Maybe you're waiting for a season you're not ready for yet, and when the time is right, it won't just open, it will explode open. Champions don't just know how to win, they know how to wait. They know that patience is as much a weapon as speed. They know that a game is never decided in the first few plays, and they know that if you keep playing, keep believing, keep showing up, the breakthrough is inevitable. So breathe. You're not behind, you're not late, you're not forgotten, you're in position. When the timing is right, God will move faster than you can imagine, and when He does, you'll realize He was never late. He was always exactly on time. God's timing is perfect. Timing wins games. Timing decides championships. You can have all the talent, all the skills, all the resources, but if you make the move too early, you miss the shot. Life works the same way. God's timing is not just good, it's perfect. And that's why the moment you think is too late is often exactly when He's about to step in. See, we live in a world that worships speed. Everyone wants things fast, fast wins, fast results, fast breakthroughs. But the kingdom doesn't operate on speed, it operates on precision. God isn't looking at your stopwatch, He's looking at your readiness. He's not trying to rush you to the victory, He's shaping you so you can keep the victory. When you think about it, every great performance has a rhythm. It's not constant motion, it's patience, setup, and execution at the right second. God operates in that same rhythm. He's never guessing, never rushing, never stalling without reason. Sometimes you'll feel like the blessing should have come already. You'll wonder why the door hasn't opened. But if you could see what He's protecting you from, you'd understand why He's holding you in this moment. He's not punishing you, He's preparing you. Preparation is not wasted time. That season where you feel nothing is happening is where your strength, your faith, and your endurance are built. Without that season, the next one will crush you. God knows this, so He waits. Waiting is a test of trust. When you trust the timing, you stop forcing moves you're not ready for. You stop trying to control outcomes that only He can bring. You start moving in sync with the season you're in. Think about this: if God gave you everything you prayed for the moment you prayed for it, you might ruin it because you weren't ready yet. But when He gives it at the perfect time, it sticks. It lasts, it multiplies. That's the power of his timing. You can't rush it. You can't delay it. You can only align yourself with it. And here's the truth: alignment takes discipline. Discipline to stay focused. Discipline to keep training your mind and spirit while you wait. Discipline to show up every day like the door is about to open. Because when the moment comes, it's not a war. It's game time. And if you're ready, you won't even think, you'll just execute. God's timing is perfect because he's not just watching the clock. He's managing the whole game. He knows who's against you, who's with you, and what you still need to learn before the big move. Every delay you face is connected to something bigger than you. Maybe it's not even about you. Maybe your timing is tied to someone else's breakthrough, and he's aligning the pieces. So don't confuse not yet with never. Those are two different answers. Not yet means keep working, keep believing. I'm setting something up. Trust his timing, because when it hits differently. It's not just an opportunity, it's the right opportunity, and the right opportunity at the right time changes everything. When you finally step into it, you won't be wondering why it took so long. You'll be wondering how it happened so fast. That's the perfect timing of God, slow to build, instant to deliver. The game isn't over until the buzzer sounds. People love to count you out early. The moment you face a setback, they start acting like the story is finished. But in life, just like in competition, the game isn't over until the buzzer sounds, and until that moment comes, you've got a chance to flip the entire outcome. Too many people quit in the middle. They see the score, they see the clock, and they think there's no way to win. But here's the truth: you only lose when you stop playing. As long as you keep showing up, as long as you keep moving forward, you're still in it. Life has a way of hitting you with hard runs. Sometimes you're down by a lot, and it feels like the hits just keep coming. But you've got to understand, God has the ability to turn the tide instantly. One play can change the whole game. One decision, one opportunity, one divine moment, and everything shifts. It's easy to stay motivated when you're ahead. But the real test is what you do when you're behind. Do you keep your head down? Do you keep putting in effort when the world thinks you've lost? That's where faith separates the average from the unstoppable. The people who win in life are the ones who play until the last second with full belief. They don't just go through the motions, they believe that something can still happen, even when logic says otherwise. That's the kind of belief God rewards. The scoreboard you see isn't the final word. You might think you're losing in your finances, your relationships, your health, your dreams, but God doesn't play by the world's scoring system. He plays by his own, and his buzzer hasn't sounded yet. Think about the comebacks you've seen in life. They don't happen because someone had it easy. They happen because someone refused to give up when it looked over. That's the same energy you need to bring to every battle you face. Every single day you choose to keep going is another chance for God to move. You can't predict the moment, but you can make sure you're ready when it happens. And the only way to be ready is to stay in the game. Sometimes the enemy wants you to believe it's too late, so you'll walk off the court before your win shows up. Don't fall for that trap. You might be closer to your breakthrough than you think. There's something powerful about enduring until the end. It builds a story that inspires people who are watching. Because make no mistake, someone is always watching. Your persistence can be the reason someone else doesn't give up. And here's the wild part: the last minutes of a game often feel the longest. That's because every second counts. In life, it's the same. The final moments before your blessing can feel like the hardest to endure. But that's also when the biggest moves happen. So if you feel like you're at the end, don't shut down. Don't slow your pace. That's the time to go harder, believe deeper, and lean on God like never before. You don't need the whole game to turn things around. You just need one shot, one opportunity, one perfectly timed moment, and that can happen right up until the buzzer. Keep your focus locked. Keep your faith alive. Because until the final whistle blows, your win is still possible. When the buzzer finally sounds and the victory is in your hands, you'll realize something. It was never about the scoreboard. It was always about whether you had the faith to keep playing until the very end. Pressure builds champions. Pressure is not your enemy. Pressure is your training ground. It's the heat that forges steel, the weight that builds strength, the moment that decides whether you break or rise. Without pressure, there are no champions. Everybody wants the trophy, but few want the pressure that comes before it. They want the win without the weight. But God doesn't work like that. He allows pressure because He knows it's the only way to prepare you for the position you're asking for. When you're under pressure, it feels uncomfortable. Your heart races. Your mind questions everything. You start wondering if you have what it takes. That's when most people fold. But the ones who lean into that moment, who breathe through it and stay locked in those, are the ones who come out stronger. You can't build championship mentality without moments that test your limits. You can't grow endurance without situations that feel like they're too much to handle. And you can't develop real faith without moments where you have nothing left but God to lean on. Pressure is the filter. It separates the committed from the casual. It reveals who's just talking and who's truly prepared to do whatever it takes. In the middle of pressure, you'll want to escape it. You'll think, why is this happening to me? But if you shift your mindset to, this is happening for me, you'll realize God is using the pressure to sharpen your skills, toughen your spirit, and strengthen your trust in Him. When the stakes are high, your instincts get sharper. Your vision becomes clearer. You stop being distracted by noise because all you can focus on is the next move. Pressure forces you to lock in on what truly matters. And here's the truth: if you can perform under pressure, you can perform anywhere. That's why God lets you face it now in small doses before the big moments come. He's training you for the weight of the blessing you've been praying for. Without pressure, blessings can crush you, but with it, you can carry them with ease. That's why pressure is not punishment, it's preparation. Think about gold. It doesn't shine until it's refined by fire. The fire doesn't destroy it. It removes what doesn't belong. That's what God is doing through your pressure. He's burning away fear, doubt, laziness, and everything that would hold you back when your moment arrives. You can't fake strength in pressure. You either have it or you don't. And if you don't yet, pressure will give you the opportunity to build it. So instead of running from pressure, start welcoming it. Start saying, this is making me better. This is shaping me for what's next. Because when you do that, you take control of your mindset and the pressure can't break you. Champions aren't built in comfort zones. They're built in moments where the whole weight of the world feels like it's on their shoulders. And they keep moving anyway. The next time pressure hits you, remember this is the moment that's turning you into the person who can handle the next level. This is where God is making you unshakable. This is where champions are born. Trust the coach's view when you're in the middle of the game. All you see is what's directly in front of you: the defender, the pressure, the obstacle. But the coach sees the entire court. He sees the plays unfolding before they happen, the openings you can't see yet, and the dangers you're blind to. That's how God works in your life. From your position, it might look like nothing is moving. You see closed doors, you see roadblocks, you see missed opportunities, but from God's view, He sees the entire picture. He knows exactly why you're being held back, and He knows exactly when to release you forward. When you trust the coach's view, you stop forcing your own plays. You stop rushing into situations you think are right, but will only lead to a dead end. You start learning to wait for the signal, the direction, the moment where everything aligns. The problem is, we want to play every position and call every shot ourselves. We think we know the fastest way to the win, but in doing that, we often take ourselves out of position for the blessing God is setting up. God sees angles you don't. He knows the hidden dangers and opportunities that look good from your point of view. That's why sometimes He shuts a door you were desperate to walk through. It's not rejection, it's redirection. If you could see the traps He's saved you from, you'd stop questioning His decisions. Every no you've heard might have been the very thing that kept you from falling apart later. Trusting the coach. His view means understanding that your role is to play your position with excellence, not to control the whole game. You don't have to know every detail of the plan, you just have to execute when He tells you to move. It also means having the humility to admit you don't know it all. That's hard when you feel ready. That's hard when you think, I could do this now. But maybe God's holding you because there's one more lesson, one more adjustment, one more piece of preparation you still need. Champions aren't made by talent alone, they're made by learning to listen, even when it's uncomfortable. The greatest victories come when you trust the one who can see what you can't. When you don't trust the coach's view, you burn yourself out. You chase opportunities that weren't yours. You fight battles that were never meant for you. You waste energy that could have been spent winning the game you were actually assigned to. But when you trust Him, you find peace in the middle of uncertainty. You don't panic when the play seems to stall. You don't feel defeated when the ball isn't in your hands yet. You understand that the timing is part of the strategy. Sometimes the best move isn't rushing forward, it's holding position, waiting for the perfect opening. And when that opening comes, it's not just about making the move, it's about making it at the exact right second. The coach's view is always right because he sees what you can't. And if you truly believe that, you'll stop doubting every delay, every detour, and every closed door. Trust his view, play your position, and when the signal comes, you'll find yourself in the exact right spot for the win that's already been prepared for you. Patience is a weapon. Most people think patience means sitting around doing nothing, but real patience is active. It's controlled focus. It's the ability to keep moving, keep training, keep believing without rushing into a move that will cost you the game. In life, patience isn't weakness. It's one of the most dangerous weapons you can have. When you rush, you make mistakes. You take shots that aren't ready. You waste energy chasing plays that were never part of the plan. But when you're patient, you control the pace. You force life to play on your timing, or rather, on God's timing. Patience isn't passive. It's the discipline to wait for the right opportunity, not just any opportunity. The average person gets desperate when nothing happens fast enough. They start chasing shortcuts, and shortcuts almost always lead to setbacks. The person with patience doesn't panic. They know the game isn't decided in the first moves. They're willing to wait for the exact moment when the shot is open, when the lane clears, when the timing is perfect. That's when they strike, and when they do, it's unstoppable. God often works through patience because it forces you to trust Him. It strips away your illusion of control. It makes you rely on His signals, not just your impulses. Patience also builds mental toughness. It trains you to keep showing up without immediate rewards. It keeps you focused on the process, not just the outcome. And when you're focused on the process, you get better without even realizing it. The dangerous thing about a patient player in life is that they're unpredictable. They're not rattled by the clock. They're not pressured by the crowd. They're waiting for that one moment, and when it comes, they're already locked and loaded. Think about it. In high pressure situations, the impatient crumble. They start forcing moves, getting sloppy, making mistakes. The patient stay calm. They let the chaos work in their favor, because they know patience always outlasts panic. Patience doesn't mean inaction. It means doing the work now so you're ready later. It means training when nobody's watching. It means building skill in the quiet so you can dominate in the spotlight. When God tells you to wait, it's not because He's holding you back, it's because He's setting up something better than what you're chasing. Patience lets you hold out for that. In life, patience is a weapon because it gives you clarity. You stop moving just to move. You stop reacting to everything that happens. You start choosing your moves with purpose. And purpose beats speed every single time. The patient win differently. They don't just take the victory, they own it, because they were ready when everyone else was rushing. So next time you feel like nothing's happening fast enough, remind yourself, patience isn't costing you time. It's saving you from wasting it. And when the moment comes, you'll realize that patience wasn't just waiting, it was loading the weapon for the shot that would seal the win. Your setbacks are training. Most people see setbacks as proof they're failing. Champions see setbacks as proof they're in training. Every loss, every rejection, every missed opportunity, it's not the end of your story. It's a drill, a lesson, a workout for your spirit. When you lose a game, you don't throw away the ball and quit the sport. You watch the replay. You study what went wrong, you learn, and you come back sharper. That's what God is doing in your life. Every setback is footage He's using to make you better for the next round. A setback isn't always punishment. Sometimes it's preparation. You were aiming for one door, but God closed it because the next door is bigger. And you can't walk through that bigger door unless you're trained enough to handle what's on the other side. When you're in the middle of a setback, it feels personal. You think, why me? Why now? But the truth is, it's part of the process. If you could see how much stronger you're becoming because of it, you'd stop calling it a loss. Training hurts. It pushes you to limits you didn't think you could handle. It forces you to develop skills under pressure. But that pain, that frustration, that exhaustion, all of it is shaping the version of you that will dominate the next challenge. Without setbacks, you'd never know your weaknesses. You'd never discover where you need to grow. You'd walk into the next season unprepared, and unprepared talent doesn't last long. Setbacks are where you develop patience, resilience, and grit. They're where you learn how to think when things aren't going your way. They're where you learn how to rely on God when your own effort isn't enough. The danger is when you let setbacks convince you to stop showing up. That's when you truly lose. But if you see them as training, you keep coming back, stronger each time, until the breakthrough finally hits. Think about how you train in the gym. Resistance is what builds muscle. In life, resistance builds character. Every no, every disappointment, every failure is weight you're lifting in the spirit. You may not see it now, but the setbacks that made you cry will one day make you unshakable. The battles that wore you out will one day make you a warrior others can't knock down. When God lets you go through a setback, it's because He knows you can handle it, and because He knows you'll be even better after it. The people who quit after setbacks never see the championship. The ones who embrace the training always do. So don't just survive your setbacks, study them, learn from them, let them sharpen you, let them harden your focus. Because when you step into the next opportunity, you won't just be the same player you were before. You'll be the one who took every hit, every loss, every setback, and turned it into fuel. When it's time, it's instant. God's timing may feel slow, but when the moment comes, it moves faster than you can blink. Years of preparation, pain, and patience can come together in a single second. One opportunity, one call, one open door, and everything changes. People spend years grinding, training, building their skill, and it feels like nothing is happening. Then suddenly the right moment hits, and all that hidden work explodes into a visible victory. That's how God works, slow to build, instant to deliver. You can't predict when it will happen. You can't schedule it. You can't force it, but you can prepare for it so when it shows up, you're ready to take the shot without hesitation. Think about it, the moment that changes your life won't give you a warning. It won't come with a countdown clock. It'll appear, and you'll either be ready or you won't. That's why the work you put in now, in the quiet, is so important. When it's time, God will align things so perfectly that no one can deny His hand was on it. The right people will appear, the right opportunities will open, the right resources will show up, and it will feel almost unreal how quickly it happens. But here's the thing, the speed of the breakthrough doesn't erase the grind it took to get there. That grind is what made you capable of holding on to the blessing once it arrives. That's why the waiting matters. That's why the discipline matters. That's why showing up every day matters. Because when the moment comes, there's no time to learn. You have to perform. When God moves, He doesn't just move you forward, He can skip you past levels you thought you'd have to fight through for years. In one instant, He can take you from overlooked to undeniable, from the bottom to the top. But you have to trust that the instant will come. Doubt will tell you nothing is changing. Fear will tell you you're wasting your time. Impatience will tell you to quit. But faith will keep you ready, knowing that any day could be the day. And when that day arrives, you won't need to force anything. It will flow. It will feel like the moment was made for you because it was. God has been aligning it all along. The win will look sudden to everyone else, but you'll know it was years in the making. That's the power of His timing. He builds in private and reveals in public. If you're in the waiting season right now, don't slack, don't get casual, don't lose focus, because the very next day could be the one where everything shifts. You don't know when it's coming, but you do know this. When it comes, it will be too late to prepare. You'll either be ready to grab it or watch it pass by. So keep working like the instant is today. Keep your faith like the instant is already on its way. Because when it's time, it won't just happen, it'll happen fast. Life is not about how fast you start, it's about how strong you finish. And if you've been feeling like your breakthrough is late, hear me clearly. God is never late. Every delay you've faced was part of the design. Every pressure you've felt was shaping you. Every setback you've endured was training you. His timing is perfect. The game isn't over until the buzzer sounds. Pressure is building you into a champion. The coach's view sees what you can't. Patience is your weapon. Setbacks are your training, and when it's time, it'll happen in an instant. You may not see it right now, but you are not behind. You're not forgotten, you're not losing, you are in position. God is aligning the pieces in ways you don't even realize yet. Don't let frustration make you forfeit your place. Don't let impatience push you out of your lane. Don't let fear convince you it's over. Because when the time comes, and it will, you're going to look back and see that every single step was necessary. The ones who win in life aren't always the ones with the most talent, the most resources, or the easiest path. They're the ones who refused to quit, the ones who kept showing up, the ones who trusted the plan even when they couldn't see the next move. So keep going, keep training, keep believing, and when the moment hits, you'll be ready not just to win once, but to win again and again. Your story is not over. Your season is not finished. And your God is never late.